In 1971, for the first time in Canadian history, the majority of immigrants to Canada were of non-European ancestry, and this has been the case every year since. As a result, Canada is not just a multicultural society, but it's also a multiracial society to a degree unimaginable to earlier generations of Canadians. And this holds true today and for Guelph. At Immigrant Services Guelph Wellington, our largest client groups in 2010 were from India, China, Vietnam, the Philippines, Afghanistan, Iran, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Cuba, and Ethiopia. 1 in 5 Guelph residents is an immigrant, and the majority are visible minorities. For the most part, our understanding of culture has been defined as ethnocultural difference. At some point, though, cultural diversity must move beyond ethnic cuisine, ethno-specific celebrations, or cultural exchanges, because as we know, immigration drives Canada's population growth, its birth rate, the economy, and profound social shifts. At Immigrant Services, our goal is to help newcomers integrate quickly and in a meaningful way so that they feel connected to the community. Apart from the core services of settlement counseling, language assessment, translation and interpretation, many programs are in place to address very specific needs of immigrants and their families. In particular, we've developed an approach that uses the arts to reach immigrant youth, especially youth whose first language is not English. Now, there are no typical newcomer youth. They come from many linguistic, cultural, and religious backgrounds and have a wide variety of life experiences. Some enter school having had varying degrees of exposure to the language and cultural norms of the majority of English-speaking Canadians. Some have immigrated with their families, and some arrive as refugees. These youth may have experienced the traumatic conditions caused by political, social, and economic upheaval. They have often been forced to leave their country, perhaps leaving key members behind. So in 2010, we launched a youth video project. And the goal was to give newcomer youth a platform to describe their experiences of coming to a new country. It was a challenge for many of the participants as they weren't used to expressing their thoughts and feelings in this foreign tongue. But they rose to the challenge and very eloquently described the highs and lows of their experience. So we followed this project up with a music-based program, as it was clear that for newcomer youth, as it is for most youth, that music is a really profound part of their identities. And their challenge was to perform live and to write a song expressing their feelings of being in a new place. Our last project brought together spoken word and drama. Once again, a group of young newcomers stepped up and out of their comfort zone to write and perform their own words, talking about isolation, discrimination, and growing into adulthood. And now, I'm excited to say, we're launching a CFRU community radio show called New Youth Radio that will tackle new youth issues and highlight young people who are making a difference in the community through their music, their words, and their actions. So far, what we've tried to do is to give youth a platform for expression, but our approach is also one of reciprocity. We encourage youth to be confident out in the community, but to also give back. Our upcoming leadership program will focus on how youth can put their energies into working on behalf of the broader community. It's one thing to find a supportive environment in which to flourish, but youth must also stretch themselves and move from the margins towards the center. But for this to happen, though, it's also up to the wider Guelph community to ensure that youth, and by extension the broader immigrant community, can become involved, that a space is created that embraces the increasing diversity of our city. So I'll leave you with an example. So each year when documentary films from around the world are showcased in Guelph, we sometimes receive a request a few weeks before the screening of a particular film for someone from, say, Afghanistan or Mexico to speak on a panel that addresses the mostly dire circumstances in these countries. Unfortunately, these requests cause some distress, as most staff or community members are not always comfortable with either representing a community or speaking to these issues without any real orientation, input, or preparation. And it's a missed opportunity, as many community members could be involved and want to contribute their knowledge and experience. But it can't happen with one email before the screening. It has to be a deeper engagement, a longer-term relationship. We need to connect locally and in tandem with our desire to be good global citizens. Immigrant Services, in this sense, is a bridging organization, connecting the margin to the mainstream so we can build on our shared values and bring newcomers into this vision of what a dynamic and inclusive Guelph can be and the opportunities it offers to all of us. Thank you.